Hello again. Well, the next part of this Andy Warhol soup can project is probably going to seem a bit familiar to you because we did something like this in the past. Of course, not with soup cans. So after you're done trying a couple soup cans, you're going to pick the one you like best. You're going to cut it from the paper, and then you're going to get a piece of foam paper like this one here, and we're going to line it up, and I will tape it for you. Now for the next step, you can use a pen. It helps you to keep track of where you are in your drawing, but I do not have one in my lesson video, so I'm just going to use my pencil. So I'm going to start tracing over my drawing, and I want to press down firmly, but I don't want to press down where I'm ripping the paper or I am poking a hole in the foam paper that I was telling you about that's underneath. So I'm going to go as careful as I can, and I'm going to trace. Now this part is a little tedious because you're doing a lot of tracing. You're tracing this time, but then you're going to see in a minute you have to trace again. And this is a method of printmaking, and this specifically is marker printing. So we're going to be printing with those water-based markers. And I know we've done this in the past. So hopefully I have all my lines. All right, so when I think I'm done, and I can lift it up, and hopefully you can see in the video that there's like this indentation. Now this is the reason why you have to trace again, because some of them might be pretty light. So now you're going to come back over them again with your pencil to darken things up. Now to make sure you put your name on the back of this, I will give you a piece of masking tape so you can write your name on the tape and then stick it to the back of your foam board, because we probably aren't going to get all of this done in one class time. So I'm tracing everything again, and luckily this is small, so we don't have to spend too much time with the tracing. But like everything else, the better you work at this, the better your final product is going to come out. So you want to be mindful that you're tracing over all your lines. All right, so when we print, we're going to be able to see this on the paper. Now, I have one that I did before, and it's a little bit easier to see in the camera because I've already printed it. And I've used markers. And let me see where in my room during this video I can find the markers. All right. So I have a brand new box of markers here. And we're going to talk about complementary colors. Let me set this aside for a minute. So here's the color wheel, and complementary colors are colors that look great next to each other. The only thing about complementary colors, they don't mix well. They make muddy colors. So for instance, orange is right across from blue on the color wheel. And on this color wheel setup, it even says complementary colors. So these two are complements. If you mixed them together, they wouldn't look so great. Yellow and purple are complements. Red and green are complements. So I will have this available for you to look at, but you're going to pick out complementary colors to color your soup can. So I did red and green. Now I've already done this. I could switch colors, but I'm going to stick with this for the video. And you're just going to color with your marker. And you want to be careful with your coloring. You don't want to get any color on this part here, because that'll come out in your print. And these are water-based markers. We could not do this printing method with Sharpie markers, for instance, because Sharpies are permanent. They are not water-based. And then I would cap that and go right on to my green. Now the center oval part I didn't color, and that is gold on the soup can. And I do have some metallic markers. I do not happen to have the gold handy, I don't think. I'll just quickly look in a minute. So now I'm ready to color the can color, the gray. And I have these markers here. They're metallic, and we're going to use that for the can part. And I think we have a gold one we can use for this part. Let's see how this will work. So here's the gold for that label part. And then I'm just going to come back and start coloring the can. If I had a regular gray marker, I might be able to use that. But I don't. This is what I had in the art room, and this is what we will be using. And sometimes when you are working in art, you just have to use the materials that are available to you at the time. So there, it's all colored. Now I'm going to get you a sponge, and this sponge is just wet with water. It's not dripping. You can see that by the video. And you're going to get a good piece of paper. Actually, the paper has been already cut for you to match the size of your foam board. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to just gently blot the paper. And some of you by now are saying, oh yeah, we did this. I remember when we did this. And this printing method is easy, but it also is a little tricky, let's say, because if you have to have the paper wet enough, just right. If it's too wet, the colors are going to bleed and they're going to separate. If it's not wet enough, your colors won't come onto the printed paper. So now I have my foam piece, I have my wet side facing down. I'm going to set it there, and then I'm just going to give it some pressure. And I don't want that paper to wiggle around, so I have to hold firm with one hand while I'm rubbing with the other. And hopefully you can see in the camera, you can see the color transferring to the paper. So let's see how it works. Hopefully, for camera purposes, it's good. Ah, voila, not bad at all. So you can see I probably could have spent a little bit more time here. Maybe I didn't have the paper wet enough, but overall, I think it came out great. I'm going to set this aside, and then I can go back, and first I might want to take a ghost print. And a ghost print, well, you can see here's a ghost print. Maybe I'm just going to wet this side here, and a ghost print is just going to lift off any more of that marker. Because if you want to switch colors, you don't want to have, I don't want to have that red and green left behind. So here, look at even that ghost print. Whoops. Even that ghost print came out good. Now I might want to do that a couple times to lift off some more of that paint here, or marker here. So you're going to spend some time printing yours. I'd like you to do 4, and I'd like you to change colors, maybe 3, let's say 3. So do 3 prints in different complementary colors, and I can't wait to see what you do.